What's up? Happy Tuesday, uh, YouTube, and happy Facebook to TikTok. What's up? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tuesday with Thom. I am so excited that you guys are here tonight. YouTube, welcome in. Uh, I am, I say this every week, but y'all, I got a good word for you tonight, and you uh, are going to be so glad that you are here because you picked a good night to show up. So uh, it's going to be good. Sarah, what's up? I see you over here on TikTok. Tuesday with Thom, y'all, it's going to be good. Hey, Melissa Diaz, what's up? What is up? Y'all, it was a good Tuesday today. It was a good Tuesday, and I pray that you have had an amazing day wherever you are. I was just thinking about this a while ago. I was like, my gosh, I can't believe that it's already been a week since I got to Atlanta. Uh, and man, it just is flown. This week has just flown by. So, um, anyway, it but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Welcome to you guys. Like I said, I pray that you had an amazing week and so far amazing Tuesday. Uh, it is man. I've got just a very exciting word to share with you guys tonight, and it's going to be good. So. Rachel Westbrook in the house. What is going on? Felicia, welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all tag some people. Tag some people. TikTok, tag some people, however you do that on TikTok. Uh, uh, and because this word is too good not to share, and it's good. So I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. A little bit. I got a new hat, so I got to show it off. Uh, in case you didn't see from the conference pictures. So, well, Rachel Westbrook, happy friend anniversary. Thank you for following me for a whole year. What? Yeah, y'all share this. Share this, share this. We're getting ready to get into it pretty soon. And one thing before I forget, and I'll say this again, but probably unless I forget, obviously, but y'all go follow me on YouTube. Everything gets uploaded on YouTube. Melissa Diaz does not play, and so YouTube. Welcome to you guys, and so anyway, y'all go follow me on YouTube. Thank you, Rach. What's up, Lawanda? What's up, fam? What's up? Y'all, thank you for joining me tonight and sharing a little bit of your Tuesday evening with me. Like I said, I've got something just really, really special that I want to share with you, and it's really, really good. It's been just going all over in my spirit for just all day, especially, but um, just this week, but especially today is what I was trying to say. So I got myself distracted. So I just got back from the conference, the Real Talk Kim conference in Atlanta, and to Kathy Pritchard, welcome, welcome, thank you, thank you. Lawanda, I sure did. I already did. But that conference was amazing, incredible. Just all the things that I hoped that it would be. And so man, it's always good to me, but this time it was just a little extra special because it just was every time it like I said, it just seems like it's a little bit better and better and better and better. So um, so yeah, you also share this and tag some folks because they uh, they need to hear this tonight because our title tonight is when loyalty makes you stay. when loyalty makes you stay. You're going to need a notebook. You're going to need something to write down, because I'm going to be dropping some nuggets that you're going to need to go back and reread and just have in your spirit, because it's really, really good. And so I uh, I just want to share, because um, uh, God is pivoting some stuff in my life right now, and it just is it's exciting, but it feels good, but it also feels like I know God's up to something, right? Things don't always go like we think that they're going to go, and so I know that he's pivoting some stuff, and so I can't wait to talk about this tonight. So when loyalty makes you stay. Uh, so have you ever stayed somewhere where uh, not because God said to, but because your loyalty wouldn't let you leave? Your loyalty wouldn't let you leave. You stayed somewhere because you were so loyal. Um, Sometimes we're loyal to people. Sometimes we're loyal to organizations, like a job, like your job. Lisa, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you. Sometimes we're loyal to traditions. This is how we've always done it. This is how this has always gone. And Connie in the house. What's up? All the way from Canada. What's up? So loyalty. We're talking about when loyalty makes you stay. Sometimes we're loyal to traditions. Like I said, this is what we've always done. This is what's comfortable. This is what we do. This is what we do around here, right? That's been said before. Sometimes we're loyal to a version of ourselves that God has already called us to outgrow. We're loyal to a version of ourselves that God's already called us to outgrow. Loyalty's beautiful. I'm not bashing on loyalty, so go with me on this. But until loyalty's beautiful, until until it becomes the thing keeping you from obedience. Y'all, you need to write that down. Write that down. Put some stars by it. Loyalty's beautiful until it becomes the thing keeping you from your obedience. Because God never asked you to be loyal to something he has already left. He done packed up and left, and you're still camped out, loyal as all get out to it. Ashley Brown, welcome. Right? Because God never asked you to be loyal to something that he left. And if we're not careful, we miss God's exit. We miss God's exit on something, a season, a situation, whatever it is, because we're just so focused, we're so loyal to it that we don't understand, and we just don't notice, right? There's at the conference, this is a good example of this. There were so many people there that it was hard to notice when somebody left, right? When somebody left the room, unless you were with that person, it would have been hard to know when that person left, because there was so much noise around. There was so much noise, so much going on, that it really would have been hard to know, unless, like I said, you were watching that person. Or Javier, what's up, my brother? Welcome in. So Proverbs 3:5-6. We talk about Proverbs a lot, and I love Proverbs. We just read through this with Pastor Kim. But Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Trust in the Lord. Notice it didn't say trust in your history, right, TikTok, right, YouTube. It didn't say trust your comfort. Ooh, I'm going to have to get the clapper out already tonight. It didn't say trust your loyalty. It says trust the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, not just some of it, not just keeping a section over here, but all of our heart. So here's my point one. See, Javier, he didn't even know I had he didn't even know I had a YouTube. Yes, y'all, I have YouTube. Go look, follow me on YouTube real quick. Point one, loyalty can become a prison. Y'all, I felt this one. Loyalty can become a prison. We celebrate loyal people, and yeah, Connie, we can hook you up. We can hook you up with it. This ain't no joke. This is a professional clapper. Professional. So we celebrate loyal people, and we should. We should. Loyalty is a rarity these days, because sometimes people are just going to be loyal and for as long as they can get something out of you, right? What can you do for me? Type of mentality. But loyalty without discernment becomes chains. Y'all, write it down. Loyalty without discernment becomes chains. If y'all ever been chained up to something that you was loyal to, it literally became a prison. I have been there. I have definitely been there. A lot of people, sometimes people will say, well, I've always been here. I've given too much to walk away. I can't leave now. I owe them. Y'all, I got in a situation with work. I had been there for 8 years. I was the director over the whole state. I had a lot of team members on my team. I made a lot of money. I bonused a lot. I drove the company car. I was so I had so much responsibility, and it literally became a prison. It literally became a prison, because then I was loyal because I felt like there were so many people dependent on me. And I had been there so long, and I had put so much of myself into this, and I couldn't just walk away. And then it just became deeper and deeper and deeper, and it just became more and more and more. And my loyalty literally turned this into a prison. And that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like prison. It felt like jail, because then I didn't feel like I could leave, right? Because then I owed them. I was so thankful because I had advanced in my career so much, and all of these things, right? And my focus shifted from trusting God. I stopped leaning on God. I started leaning on my own understanding and in my own thing, right? Expecting God to continue to just bless it. And so I felt like I owed them. I owed my team. I felt loyal to my team, and they needed me. I literally became the filter between the crazy things that was going on with upper leadership, and I became this filter for my team, and I tried to hide some of the stuff that was going on, and I tried to filter it out. And God never called me to do that. And it literally started to wear on me and weigh me down. And so, no, I didn't owe them. Sometimes we confuse gratitude with obligation, because that's what happened. It shifted. Then I felt obligated, right? I felt obligated. I liked what I did. And then it shifted to obligation. It felt like a prison. And there's nothing like feeling like you're in a prison like that. You're so loyal. and people say just some things that like you want to hear, right? And so I really started doing some praying, some really, really heavy duty praying, and finally was, feeling just this pressure of the situation, and my loyalty was so strong, and I would pray prayers like God, help me to see what you want me to see, help me to hear what you want me to hear, say what you want me to say, and then even when I started seeing what God needed me to see, my loyalty was still so strong that I just got it twisted up and confused, and my discernment, uh, it was messing with me, right? My spirit man was literally trying to help me break out, but my loyalty kept me bound up. It kept me stuck because in all actuality, I wasn't trusting God. I'm a faithful giver. I'm a joyful giver. I love to give. I love to love people. And I was practicing all the things was that God says for us to do. But I was bound to something because I trusted in my own ability to make a certain amount of money. And I literally stopped trusting God. So let's talk about Ruth for a minute, because this Ruth is so powerful. Ruth teaches us something so incredible that I want you to get this. Tanya, welcome. Dahlia, I'm so glad you're here. Ruth teaches us something incredible. Ruth was loyal to Naomi, but Naomi never asked Ruth to stay. In fact, she told her to go back. I didn't ask you to come. I didn't ask you to follow me. But Ruth's loyalty wasn't to a location, it was to God's purpose. See, that's the difference. When you're loyal to God's purpose, all hell can be breaking loose around you, and it just cannot affect you because your discernment is on point, and you literally see what God is telling you, and you're loyal to it because it speaks to your spirit, and it can flip how you see stuff. Where other people can jump ship and run, you're like, God, I'm loyal. I'm here. I know what you're gonna do. And so Ruth was loyal to the location. It was uh it was her loyalty was to God's purpose. So sometimes loyalty follows God, sometimes loyalty follows people. That's exactly what I was guilty of. I was following people. So that's the difference. Our loyalty stops following God. That's the shift right there. God packed up and moved out, and we didn't notice it, and we continued to be loyal, and we stayed in situations where God wasn't at. Tiffany, what's up? Welcome. We're talking about when loyalty makes you stay. So point number 2, y'all, I hope you're taking some notes, because man, I'm going to go back and just keep marinating on this and in this and through this, and slathering it on me and saying, God, help me to get a hold of this. So point 2, God often has to make staying uncomfortable. Anybody ever been there? God often has to make staying so uncomfortable that that's what finally gets your attention. That's what worked for me. Sometimes God doesn't immediately tell you to move. He simply removes his peace. He removes your peace. He simply removes your peace. Doors begin to close. Relationships become strained. Favor just disappears. Y'all, I would beg God. God, bless me. Bless what I'm doing. Bless the work of my hands. I would be out on Tressa, welcome. literally, I would be out of town for weeks at a time, living in a hotel. Y'all, I would lay on the floor and just surrender to God. And God, just show me what to do and I'll do it. Just help me to, do this and best of my ability and help it to grow and all these things. And I was begging, I would fast, I would beg God. God had already, he started closing doors. Relationships became strained. And here I am praying God to fix it. Praying, God, give me discernment. Help me to see what you want me to see, God. And then when I would be praying, God, fix this. Help me, God. Give me strength. Give me wisdom. Give me favor. Your joy dries up. Listen, there's nothing worse than having your joy dry up. And you can't even feel joy. When you feel the attack of the enemy because you're staying in a place where God's no longer at. Joy dries up, nothing fits anymore. Not because God's punishing you, but because he's preparing you to move. That's the part I was missing. Is God was trying to get my attention, and I was so afraid to move because I didn't understand what he was doing. He didn't just spell it out for me. He was pushing. He was starting to remove things. Right? That's how we can sometimes get people's attention. We stop. Robin, welcome in. We stop. They stop responding. Right? God, the joy goes away. The favor disappears. Doors start closing. Y'all, there's a situation right now. I promise you, I've learned my lesson. These very things started happening, and this time I've started paying attention. Okay, God, the favor's gone. The doors are closing. This doesn't feel joyful anymore. This relationship's starting to feel a little strained. Okay, God, I got you this time. I hear what you're saying to me. And now I'm not going to get myself in a situation where I become chained to this. And I get in a situation where I can't move because of fear and because of what other people are going to think. Right here goes back that people pleasing junk that we're all breaking off of us, right? And then we get in situations like this where loyalty makes us stay because we're people pleasing and we don't want to have tough conversations with people. But the joy's gone, doors are closing, relationships are shifting around. Nothing fits anymore. It just isn't working because he's preparing you to move. He knows the plans that he has, right? We're about to get to that. But he knows what is happening next week, next month, right? We talked about that last week. And so trusting God when something feels off, it's off, right? Pastor Kim tells that to us all the time because he's preparing you to move. So even Abraham in Genesis chapter 12, God never improved where he lived. He called Abraham out. So imagine Abraham continuing to pray, Lord, make better. I was guilty of it, y'all. That was me. Make this situation better, God. And God says, I'm not fixing what I've already called you to leave. I am not gonna fix this for you because you're not supposed to be here. So let me break this down for you, child of God, right? That's what he, kept saying. Chris Foster, welcome, one of my favorite brothers. I'm not gonna fix what I've already called you to leave. That about makes me get up and run around this whole house acting like, all sorts of something. Because that's fire right there. That one hit me, y'all. That one really, really hit me because we can beg and cry and fast and pray. We can fast until we croak over dead. And God is, you're not supposed to be there. So he's never going to fix it. Right? My. Point 3. The longer you stay, the heavier it gets. The longer you stay, the heavier it gets, y'all. Promise you. Bought the t-shirt, poster child, billboard, all the things. The longer you stay, the heavier it gets. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that in situations that you've been in, or maybe that's where you are right now? It's getting real, real heavy. You keep trying harder, you serve more. Come on, Rochelle. Come on, Myrna. You give more. You fix more. You're holding everything together. Remember what I said? I felt so responsible for this team of people that I thought I had to fix this, and I had to be this filter that I wasn't physically even able to do. Yet somehow everything keeps getting heavier. So maybe because you were never meant to carry it this long. Y'all, it finally got to the situation that I was in, and the weight was so strong. It was so incredibly heavy. I I, I got stationed in another part of the state where about 45, 50 minutes ish hour away. Every day I'd cry going and cry coming back. I would be praying and asking God and listening to preaching and listening to prayer, worship music. And I would worship God and I would ask God, show me what to do, God, and I'll do it. Show me, God, help me, give me direction. He kept trying. He was trying to show me, and I just wasn't getting it. And it just kept getting heavier and heavier until one day I finally snapped. And it was so out of control, and I was so in fear and so in panic mode all the time that I finally snapped. And it was crazy things that my mind would tell me, crazy things that was happening, and so paranoid over things and wouldn't trust people until I finally had a breakdown, and it was just like a dam had broken. And I had to have multiple conversations and just bawl my eyes out and just release this thing that was never mine to even carry to start with. And I'll never, I pray, forget that moment, because it was so pivotal, because that was the very thing that I was fighting against. And God just kept shifting things, removing people. The joy was gone, the peace was gone, the favor was gone, all of it, gone. And so I was never ever meant to carry it that long. So, but that was the point I had to get to. He had to get me to that point. So Isaiah 43:19. Isaiah 43:19, y'all. It's something that we know. We know we've heard it. It says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So even when we stay too long, even when it becomes a desolate desert that's void of everything that's good, he still says, I need you to see this. I'm doing a new thing. Behold, old things have passed away. All things became new. Now it springs up. There's still something down in the inside of you that I'm trying to spring up out of this dry, desolate place that you found yourself in, because loyalty kept you trapped, because you felt so imprisoned by this, right? Do you not perceive it? We're asking for discernment, and then what are we doing with it? We're denying it. We're not practicing it, because it goes against the opposite of what we see and what we think we're supposed to be doing. I'm making a way in the wilderness. He promises us. I'm making a way. You just have to step out. You have to trust me. So notice, God didn't say, I'm polishing the old thing. This isn't one of those situations where he's going to resurrect it. Now, God can do whatever he wants. And yes, there are probably some situations where Lazarus was been dead for 4 days, and here God goes and raises it up, and relationships shift and come back to life. But I'm talking about some situations where loyalty has made you stay way too long because you weren't supposed to be there. He didn't say I'm polishing an old thing. He said I'm doing a new thing to bless you. Come on, Robin. I'm doing a new thing. Will you trust me? He says tonight. Will you trust me that I know what my plans are for you? And will you let me lead you out of this situation? Will you let me bless your loyalty where it needs to be? Point number 4, loyalty is not the same as obedience. See, this is where I got it a little twisted up, right? Loyalty is not the same as obedience. Y'all can blame Melissa Diaz for this, just in case y'all need to know, because she got it, and I gotta use it because this might be the strongest statement of the night right here. Some people are loyal but disobedient. YouTube, are you hearing me up there? I got YouTube up there. It's a different thing. Some people are loyal but disobedient. Oh, not me, man. I'm obedient, man. I do what God says. I do what God says. But do we? Do we? Others appear disloyal, but they're following God. Just because you think I'm disloyal doesn't mean I'm not following God. Doesn't mean I've heard from God. Just because I think you might be disloyal doesn't mean you're not hearing from God and you're doing what he said to do. I really liked this because if Jesus walks up on the water and the disciples all in the boat, and our favorite disciple Peter, we preach this every which way it can be preached, but he says, Jesus, if that's really you, bid me to come out to you. And Jesus is like, come on. So if God tells Peter, get out of the boat, staying in the boat isn't loyalty. It's fear. Staying in the boat isn't loyalty. It's fear. Y'all, fear will make you do some crazy things. It'll make you say some crazy things. It'll make you believe stuff that's even crazier than that. Fear. So staying in the boat isn't loyal. He wasn't going to get his miracle. He wasn't going to do something he had never done before, staying in the boat, being fearful. God designed Peter the way he did on purpose. And so he couldn't sit still. It was like the prophet said, like fire shut up in my bones. He couldn't stay there. Jesus, if that's you, let me come to you. I want to see you so bad, Jesus, that I can't wait for you to get to me. I got to get out to you, even if it means doing something impossible that no one's ever done. He got down out of the boat and walked towards Jesus. When's the last time you did that? When's the last time you got out of the boat and you broke off what you thought was loyalty and broke off the fear that was holding you in place like a seatbelt? Right? Seatbelts are good to protect us in crazy situations and accidents and all the things, but it can also restrain you when you need to get up out of there and move. So staying in the boat isn't loyalty, it's fear. Luke 9:62. Jesus replied, no one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God. Right, Robin. So good. So we've accepted this call, we've accepted this anointing, we've accepted this walk with God, but then we keep looking back. And he says, what are you doing? What are you doing? Sometimes looking back isn't nostalgia. It's misplaced loyalty. We've heard this said a mazillion times. That's why the windshield's so big and the rearview mirror is so small, because we're supposed to be looking where we're going and not where we've been. Right? Looking back isn't nostalgia, it's misplaced loyalty. Y'all, I'm going to keep on doing it. So, what are you staying in? Here's a question I want to challenge you with tonight. Absolutely. Pastor Stephen, welcome. Thank you for jumping on with me for a minute. So here's the question. What are you staying in that God has already released you from? If you're in a prison cell and they swing the door open, are you going to be dumb enough to stand there for another 2 or 3 days? A lot of us do that because we're so loyal, right? There's this thing called Stockholm syndrome, or it's and that might not be the right thing, but it's where you get so conditioned to your abuser and your accuser that you just, even if they do open the door, you're not ever going to leave because you're so conditioned. So what are you saying in that God has already released you from? A relationship? A ministry? Maybe you did what you were supposed to in this season. God's trying to shift you, but you're so loyal to this ministry that you're stuck. Maybe it's a job. Y'all have already been testifying about that. I was so loyal to that job. I lived it, breathed it, ate it, drank it. I became the face of the company. Everybody associate me with it. Are you so loyal to a habit? Even good habits. Even good habits sometimes need to be broken off. And it's for a season. And then we have to mature and move forward. Maybe it's a mindset, right? God's maybe trying to advance us and show us something. Yep, you sure did, Teresa. Yes, you did. Maybe it's an identity. Again, sometimes our jobs, sometimes relationships are our identity, right? You've been married 35, 40 years. It is your identity. Peanut butter and jelly, right? Bread and butter, all the things. It just goes together. Everybody associates you with that. Maybe God is, what are you staying in that God's released you from? Is it a season? You are stuck in a season that God has released you from, but you just keep wandering the wilderness. You just keep hanging out, roaming around in it, kicking rocks, right? Come on, Robin. So here's the dangerous part. Come on, Dana Tate. Here's the dangerous part. The longer you ignore God's invitation, the louder your frustration becomes. The longer you ignore God's invitation, the louder your frustration becomes. Y'all, again, I'm the poster child. I became so frustrated because, and then see what the enemy starts doing is the enemy starts working against you and whispering in the other ear, right? Holy Spirit, let me hear you. Let me hear you. You know, because he's always speaking to us, but then the enemy starts talking to you. Well, you know, if God is so great, then why is none of this working? God is giving you an invitation to move, to do something else, to break that chain of loyalty to something you shouldn't be loyal to. And then the louder your frustration gets, man, my frustration was a roaring lion, right? That false roar that I become afraid of. Sometimes the frustration isn't the devil attacking, it's heaven saying, it's time. It's time. All the stuff is shifted. It's time. What else do I need to do to get your attention? Right? So the devil, the enemy will just come in and take credit for whatever we'll give him. But maybe, just maybe, it's God saying, and now in retrospect, I can see that, right? God was trying to get my attention because he knew what he had for me. He knew the plans that he had for me. He knew the ministry and the things that were going to be coming in 2026. But he had to I had to feel enough pressure. I had to feel enough, my joy being gone, my peace being gone, this imprisonment feeling. I had to feel those things so that I could get to where I was, because he never leaves us or forsakes us, right? Uh, he'll leave a season, but he doesn't leave us, right? He lives in here, but sometimes heaven is just rattling, right, and saying, "It's time, it's time. What are you waiting for?" So this analogy, hit me because I just experienced it, right? I went to Atlanta. I had a vendor booth. I had 2 suitcases that were 56 and 57 pounds each. And I had this big backdrop that I brought, and it was in a separate bag. And I had a backpack that I carried with me. I took my computer with me, so in case I wanted to do some work, which I did while I was there. My laptop is small, but it's heavy, right? So it's in my backpack and it's heavy. And I have uh this luggage that I'm pushing along, and I have this other bag that has this thing in it, and I'm trudging through the airport, right? And it especially hit me coming back because I was more tired, right? And and I'm walking through the gate, and I'm trying to go through security and get all this stuff done, and it felt like I was climbing a mountain with this darn backpack, right? My back started burning and hurting so bad, and I had to mess with all this junk going through security, the backpack, not the luggage, thankfully. But I got through security, and my back started hurting. Like I said, I was tired, and having to get everything put back in this backpack, and I had to repack it. Y'all, that is a whole other thing that will preach. Uh, No, Pastor Stephen, I sure did, but we were close. You're right. But my shoulders started hurting, and it was so heavy. And I just remember I just had to keep going. And I tried to tighten up the straps a little bit, and I tried to shift shoulders, and I kept readjusting myself, and it just kept hurting. My back was burning, and I just kept thinking, uh, I just got to get to where the seats are so that I can take this off. Right? Thank you, Dana. It was heavy. I had all this stuff packed in my backpack, and it was heavy. But I was responsible. I was loyal to this backpack, right? The backpack was expensive. My laptop was expensive. It had valuable things in it, right? It was my assignment to carry it because I'm the crazy one that brought it with me, right? So I kept adjusting. And so, I'm sure there are probably people around me. Well, why don't you just take it off? Why don't you just take it off? Because my answer would have been, well, I've carried it this long. It's my responsibility. I'm loyal to it, right? It's all my responsibility. And I'm loyal to this and all this stuff, which in reality, I wasn't going to just take off my backpack and just leave it, right? But uh, catch the analogy, because just because you carried something for years doesn't mean you're supposed to carry it forever. Angel Brown in the house, what's up? So I finally got to where I was going. Catch this, y'all. I finally got to where I was going, and I was able to take off the backpack finally. Then I was able to sit down this other bag that I was carrying that had this backdrop in it. Um, and I was able to finally sit it down and shift that weight off of me and onto the seat next to me sitting there in the airport. And I was able to just sit there, but it still took my back a while to relax because I had overused the muscles, and it was just heavy, right? I don't practice that enough to be, have my muscles strong enough yet to be able to handle that all the time. So I was doing something I don't normally do. I was carrying weight that I don't normally carry, and my body was physically feeling it. So sometimes it's so easy to tell people, well, why don't you just take it off? Why don't you just quit that job? Why don't you just leave that relationship? Why don't you just get your joy back? So it's so easy to just, you know, flippantly say that. But when it's your turn to step up and actually do it, that's a whole other story. Because that's sometimes a level of faith that we don't really operate in. We might act like we do, but in reality, when it's you, then it becomes a whole different situation. So just because you carried it for years doesn't mean you're supposed to carry it forever. So some of you have been asking, God, why is this getting harder? Y'all, again, I'm the one. I kept doing that. Why is this getting harder, God? You said you wouldn't leave me or forsake me, but it feels like you have left me. This is heavy. I can't bear it. Y'all, I was so ridiculously loyal that I just kept going and going and going. And then there would be these ridiculous little flickers of hope, and these ridiculous flickers of encouragement. This is your God. You're right where you're supposed to be, and you're in your element. No, I wasn't. I was in a place where God had already left. He had already taken his favor off of it, and I was still stuck there, still trying to pray and still trying to get God's blessing on something that he was like, I have something better for you. If you will just trust me, if you will just hear me, you're gonna you got to go through some stuff, but I got you, right? Because even when I finally got it, all he was waiting on is for me to make a decision. Because the second I made that decision, and I physically had to move, y'all, I hadn't had my own car in 8 years. I didn't own my own car for 8 years. I didn't need to. I didn't need to. The second I went out and bought a new car and I shifted and I accepted a different position, and I started moving towards walking out of this prison that I had been in, he immediately shifted it so fast, so fast. I physically went numb at the announcement that happened. I almost fell out of the chair. It happened so fast. It was faster than lightning striking. That it happened so fast and I went numb so fast, I couldn't even physically react for a while. And it was that realization that God had it was waiting on me to get out of the boat, step away from the fear, and trust him that he's never going to leave me or forsake me. He's never going to take me somewhere where he's not going to grab my hand if I feel like I'm slipping back, right? Because there were still some storms that were swirling around. Even though he delivered me up out of this, I still had more steps I had to take on this water that I hadn't walked on before. And he literally had to remind me to get my eyes on him and off the storm, because it would flip me back into it. It was like a tornado. He was trying to pull me back in because the enemy knew I was about to get free from this thing. He knew that I finally saw the door open and started seeing my deliverance that was literally steps away. And it was just trying to find, my emotions were a wreck. It was just ridiculous. And till I finally kept pushing through it, right? Because then what happens is then you get past the point of no return, right? There's absolutely no going back, no zero going back. There wasn't even anything to look back on. So do not confuse history with destiny. Do not confuse familiarity with faithfulness. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's faithful. Don't confuse loyalty with obedience, because sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is leave what God has already left, even with your knees knocking and nauseous as all get out and numb and your head swirling around. Because when you are so into a narcissistic manipulative relationship, whether it's work or personal or business or whatever it is, it takes you a while, but you got to keep moving, right? God's already left it, because where God guides, his grace follows. So where he departed, your loyalty alone cannot sustain you. Come on, Dana. Your loyalty alone cannot sustain you. I tried it, y'all. I'm telling you from experience. And you know what? I still had a healing process to go through. It wasn't necessarily immediate for me. For you, maybe it might be. For me, it wasn't. It's still ongoing. But it's because God is continuing to teach me. He's teaching me. He's showing me. He's breaking off that people pleasing, that had an enormous stronghold in me. And so it took a lot of it's been almost 2 years, 2 years of healing, 2 years of trusting, 2 years of letting go, 2 years of saying, I forgive, 2 years of saying, God, help me keep my heart right, 2 years of, of, of God, help me with this discernment. Now that I've stepped out and I'm doing this, because then I was bleeding on people that didn't cut me, and I was offended very easily about stuff. And because that's the enemy again trying to keep me sucked back into that. And I just had to keep moving one step at a time, one step at a time. As much as I could. My ego took a hit. My pride kept taking a hit. Uh, uh, Things kept getting stripped off of me. Uh, 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 Salaries kept changing and reducing over and over, because God was trying to show me that he is Jehovah Jireh. He is my provider, not my ability to work at this job and use this job as my God and be my supplier, because he is faithful and he's proven it to me over and over and over in the last 2 years, where I can make 30 to 35,000 and even more less than I was making, and doing more than what I ever was doing before. Because he literally, you cannot outgive God, because God was paying attention when I would step out and do the things that he was calling me to do and telling me to do. And he would speak to me about taking a certain amount of money out of the bank and blessing people with it, and sowing my tithe and my offerings, and doing these little things for people. God was keeping record of those things. And he says, given it shall be given. Those were the days where I needed that return back. I needed God to give back to me. And he was faithful to watch over his word to perform it. He was faithful to do what he promised me to do. And so my loyalty couldn't sustain me. And so tonight I want to ask you one more question. Ask yourself this, write it down if you're somewhere you can take notes, and pray on this and think about this week, y'all. It's so good. Lord, am I staying because you told me to, or because my loyalty won't let me leave? Am I staying because you told me to, or because my loyalty won't let me leave? Because if heaven has already moved, it's time to move with it. Never be so loyal to a season that you miss the next assignment. It's been a minute since I did that. Never be so loyal to a season that you miss the next assignment. He promised us exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think. But you got to step out. You got to break some of that misplaced loyalty and watch God blow your mind. Y'all, I'm a testimony of it tonight of what God can do and what He has done. If you would have told me 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, right now, that God was going to allow me to be doing all the things I'm doing, I would have never believed it. Would have never believed it. Because it was in such torment and such hellacious situation. I would have never believed it. And so, Lord, am I staying because you told me to, or because my loyalty won't let me leave? Because God, if you told me to stay, then all hell can break loose, and it don't even matter, because I know you got me, and I'll be planted right here until you tell me to go. Because if God told you to stay, the joy is going to be there, the open doors are going to be there, favor, joy, strength, provision, all those things are going to be around you. And uh so it doesn't even matter. It don't even matter. Let the storm go. You know, that was something that I noticed while we were at the hotel there in Atlanta. It rained several times on and off while we were there, and because the structure that we were in was so big, there was lots of great windows everywhere, and at certain parts of certain parts of the building, I could see it just pouring. Right, it was just pouring down the back of the building, and it would just be pouring rain. But because of where the Bible says, if we abide in the shelter of the Most High, He will protect us. Right, that's what that was. I didn't even hear the rain. I didn't even hear the thunder or the lightning if there was any. So it's time for us uh, to assess our loyalty and allow God to move you if you need to move, and and give Him the opportunity to blow your mind, because He absolutely will. So thank you, Dana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. So, y'all, I pray that this blessed you tonight as much as it did for me, and it gives you something to think about. And the rest of this week, I pray that He will just remind you of this over and over and over as you go through this week and you face situations. And I definitely pray that He will give you strength and boldness to step out and step away from misplaced loyalty, and and give you that thing that you need, that tenacity to just trust Him. uh Yes, Robin, that was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Dana, love you. Dahlia, love you. Melissa, thank you so much. Pastor Stephen and Connie was on here. I love y'all. Everybody that was on here. TikTok, I love y'all so much. And I just pray that this blessed you. I can't wait to share some things that God's doing right now, when it's time for me to share. Um, but but I'm here, but I'm moving a little bit quicker because now I recognize it. And so y'all go follow me on YouTube, and share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this word tonight. And uh, I appreciate y'all spending some time with me tonight. And be blessed, and be a blessing to somebody else. Be a blessing to other people that are around you. Love on people, pray for people, because you just never know that maybe what they're in situations where they're trapped because of loyalty, and you might be that key to help unlock their prison, and really give them strength to move out of what they are. Monica, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Um, y'all, go be a blessing. Yeah, Dahlia, you can definitely listen to this again on YouTube. I don't look at the camera very often, so it's, I'm looking off, but you can definitely hear it again. So yeah, go rewatch this again on YouTube. Take notes this time, and just let it bless you. Maybe you'll hear something again that you didn't hear the first time, and all of that stuff. So y'all, that's my time. I try to keep this to an hour. I love y'all so much. I'm praying for you, and go be a blessing this week. Go love on somebody, and uh, if this ministered to you in a specific way and you didn't want to comment or whatever, send me a message. And if there's anything I can pray for you with or about, please also let me know, and I definitely will, because I'm definitely that brother that if you ask me to pray, I'm going to pray. And I'll move heaven for you. So y'all, I love you so much. Have an amazing rest of your week, and go be Jesus with skin on. TikTok, I love y'all. Go be Jesus with skin on. YouTube, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. I love y'all so much. And I pray that this blessed you tonight. And just go be Jesus with skin on, right?